I'm Alex Michaelson. This week, the issue is impeachment.
Shift is running a Soviet-style process behind closed doors.
Republicans fighting back against Californians in Congress as the evidence against President Trump mounts. Democratic Congressman Harley Rouda is here to take us inside that room. Plus, an issue is exclusive.
To me, the issue is we have to keep Nancy Pelosi in the House.
Former California Senator Barbara Boxer invites us to a special performance of the Mueller Report featuring Deborah Messing, Larry David, and Billy Porter. And Metta World Peace is here to talk about mental health, basketball, and more. The issue is starts right now. And welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Elex Michaelson, and we're joined by a Democratic Congressmember who represents a district that is actually mostly Republican. Harley Rouda is back here on The Issue Is. He represents the coast of Orange County, including Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, some of the nicest places in the country. The former businessman and former Republican himself was elected in that wave election of 2018. He sits on the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, which is part of the impeachment inquiry. Congressman Rouda, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Alex, glad to be back on. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So you were there this week inside this secure room on Capitol Hill where the Republicans who weren't on the committee storm in wanting to get more information about what's happening, even though the Republicans that were on the committee were in there with you. What was that scene like, and what's your reaction to sort of what's going on there?
Well, it's obviously a stunt. And there's an old adage that I learned in law school that if you don't have the facts, you argue the law. And if you don't have the law, you argue the facts. And if you don't have the facts or the law, you scream and yell and slam your fist on the desk. And that's basically what we saw this week.
That was a law school adage?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
So the Republicans stormed the room, even though almost 1/4 of the Republican caucus has access to these hearings.
So they're in there, they're getting pizza. I mean, sort of give us a little sort of play-by-play and color of what that felt like, what they were saying.
Well, first of all, you got to understand this, where we go, it's called a SCIF. And to get into the SCIF, this is a highly classified area. This is the House Intelligence Committee's operating area. So you have to go through a lot of doors and a lot of security. And while the members who were getting together, who were supposed to be there, both Republican and Democrat, we had about 20, 25 additional Republicans not on those committees literally forced their ways through the doors, past the Capitol Police, some of them with their cell phones out taking pictures, which caused a huge ruckus. And not until they were finally cleared, we actually had to have the Capitol Police come in and sweep the premises because of all these unauthorized individuals.
Now, their complaint is that much of this is being done behind closed doors. They say that it would be more transparent if this was done openly. Here's what one of them had to say.
Shift is running a Soviet-style process behind closed doors where he's trying to impeach a president of the United States in secret.
So that's the number 2 Republican saying that it's a Soviet-style process. Your response to that?
Yeah, just empty rhetoric. And here's why. We have to make the distinction between what happened under Nixon and Clinton. Both of those situations, there were allegations of violations of law. There was a referral to the Justice Department for the Attorney General to then appoint special counsel to take on the investigation. Here, there was a referral to the Department of Justice. Unfortunately, Attorney General Barr, even though the president admitted to violating the law, refused to take it up. So the House is left with doing this process behind closed doors initially with access, again, to 3 committees, which is exactly what those special counsel would have done in the previous 2 situations. It will come out into public hearings and release of the transcripts soon.
And so, based off of the evidence that you have now seen behind closed doors, did President Trump commit high crimes and misdemeanors, and should he be impeached?
Well, clearly, the president has admitted as much in the call memorandum that was released. It was clear as to what he was asking for. And what we have seen with each one of these witnesses coming through is that what we're learning is not just that a crime took place, but how much effort was in the setup and the cover-up of that crime. It will be up to every member to make their own decision as to whether that's impeachable conduct. I am of the belief that when the President of the United States commits criminal acts in office, that's an impeachable offense.
So in terms of what you're saying, you believe that the president should be impeached?
I do.
And do you think that there's any chance that the House doesn't impeach him?
I think it's a very low probability that the House will file articles of impeachment. The Senate's a different story.
Let's talk about some of the other issues here locally, because impeachment is an issue, and Ukraine is something that a lot of people locally may just be able to sort of put blinders on and not deal with. Some of the power outages and fires we've been having recently, another story. You can't ignore that, even if you're not into politics, right? And one of the things we've seen is this power shut-off process. Millions of people in this state being left without power as a preventative thing to try to limit liability for some of these utility companies. I asked Governor Newsom about that this week. This is what he had to say. Governor, Democrats have been in charge of this state for a long time. You were lieutenant governor before this. What went wrong in terms of regulating?
I'm not looking back. I'm taking responsibility and I'm moving forward, period. It's more than just climate change, and it is climate change. But it's more than that. And as it relates to PG&E, it's about dog-eat-dog capitalism meeting climate change. It's about corporate greed.
Are you concerned about what you're seeing? I mean, do you think that the federal government needs to get involved in this anyway, or is this really just a state issue?
Absolutely. We're going to need the federal government to get involved with our electrical grid across the United States. It's antiquated, and as we see increased concerns with climate change and its impact on adverse weather events, the need to have a comprehensive federal reform working with the states to make sure that we can have a truly 21st century electrical grid is paramount.
I mean, are you concerned that the Democrats maybe haven't done a good enough job in regulating this over the years?
No, I don't think that's the case at all, because I think Governor Newsom is right. This has been historically a situation where you have for-profit companies not making the investment in the infrastructure that they need to. But also you do need a good partner at the federal level. And the federal government has failed, in my opinion, to get an infrastructure bill through for many years now. And that's exactly what we need, not just for the electrical grid, but so many other areas as well.
I know you're a believer that climate change is a driver of some of these massive fires. Unfortunately, it seems like we have this new normal of just being prepared for these massive fires, mass evacuations, mass power outages.
Right.
What do we do about that long term? How do we get a handle on that?
Yeah, we just had, just a few months ago, I had a hearing. I chair the Oversight Environmental Subcommittee, and so we had a hearing in field to address California wildfires as an example of some of the wildfires we're seeing across the United States. We're not unique, but we are going to have to prepare better for these storms, for these fires and the storms as well, and make sure that we also have a better response afterwards. But a lot of this is preparation for a changing world, as you point out. And as climate change creates more severe, more often storms, we have to be better prepared.
Another issue that happened this week, I wanted to get you to weigh in on. You came in as a freshman. You've gotten probably the most attention from any of the freshmen, other than perhaps Katie Porter and Katie Hill from Southern California. Tough week for Katie Hill this week. Ethics committee now investigating a relationship she had with a congressional staffer that she admits to. She denies a relationship she had with a campaign staffer, which she admits to. She denies a relationship with a congressional staffer. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I did read her apology about the inappropriateness of the relationship with the campaign staffer and the office staffer that I think is under a continued investigation. So we'll see what the ethics probe does and says.
Anything else to add on that?
Yeah, Katie is a friend, and I want to see the facts evolve. She's come out very strongly that what's being placed out there is not true. So I want the right process to take place here.
Okay. We also like to have a little bit of fun on this show. So we do something called personal issues, which gives us more of a sense of who you are and get people to get to know you a little bit, right?
Okay.
All right. So let's have a little fun. We're going to put 30 seconds up on the clock. Here we go. What's your favorite sports team?
My favorite sports team is the Ohio State Buckeyes.
All right, how about that? Favorite sport to play?
Golf.
Favorite Disney movie?
Gosh, The Incredibles is a Disney movie. It would be that, but it may not be a Disney movie, so I might have to take a pass on that one.
All right, favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show right now is probably Succession.
Oh, favorite book?
Anything that my wife writes.
That's smart man. Favorite Republican?
I tell you, from the freshman standpoint, I really like Denver Riggleman and also Anthony Gonzalez.
And favorite snack?
Favorite snack, it's pretty hard to beat a great chocolate chip cookie or brownie, especially Fridays in the studio, the ones your mom brings in.
There we go. Look at that. He gave a shout out both to my mom and your wife. That's why you're a successful politician, right? Well, you know, it's a pretty cool day here because we not only have you,
right,
but we've got an NBA champion in the house too, Metta World Peace. So as we tease him, I thought, how fun would it be if we go over and say hi to him?
All right.
You ready?
Let's do it.
You didn't say your favorite sport to play was basketball. I was hoping that you would. You ready?
Well,
I want to see what you can do.
This guy can play basketball.
With the former NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Come on, get closer. Make a layup. Make a layup.
Little assist.
Yeah.
LeBron to AD.
There it is. Look at that.
That's how you know the Lakers are going to win the championship.
All right, so Metta World Peace is with us to talk about mental health, basketball, and more. Congressman Rouda, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely good to see you. Absolutely.
From Southern California to the Bay Area, you're watching The Issue Is.
And welcome back. I'm especially excited about this guest. Metta World Peace has become one of the key spokespeople in the country on the issue of mental health awareness. Of course, he won an NBA championship with my team, the LA Lakers. He's been an all-star. He's been the Defensive Player of the Year for the NBA. Recently, he helped to found X versus X Sports. It's an affordable way for players of all levels can get into pickup games in some of the country's and the city's best courts. We're going to talk more about that in the next segment. Metta World Peace, welcome to The Issue Is. Good to have you here.
It's really good to be here.
So let's talk about the issue first, though, of mental health, which you have so prominently become a spokesperson for awareness of that. What do you think is the most important thing for people to know about the issue of mental health?
I think the most important thing to know about the issue is that you want to be vulnerable, and the more you speak out and feel comfortable with yourself, the more you're going to help someone else. For example, in the NBA, we had a few people that came out as being gay. And then you had a few people come out as having mental health issues, such as Kevin Love and DeMarcus DeRozan. And when you're vulnerable, it shows a little strength because it shows that you're trying to improve yourself.
I mean, is that especially hard to do, though, in a pretty macho-driven, masculine environment like professional sports?
It is. You know, in 2010, when I won the NBA Finals with Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, and Lamar and all those guys, I said I want to thank my psychiatrist.
Right.
And that was kind of dangerous.
We've got that. Let's play that if we can. This is that right after that championship, biggest moment of your professional life, and this is what Metta said.
I definitely want to thank my doctor, Dr. Sandy, my psychiatrist. She really helped me relax a lot. Thank you so much. It's so difficult to play. There's so much commotion going on in the playoffs, and she helped me relax. I thank you so much.
How did that change everything for you and change things for so many other people?
Well, for me, in '99, if I would have said that on television, it wasn't as acceptable. And people make fun of people. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, she's crazy, right? And when I said that, it kind of broke the barrier. And now you see more and more people coming out. And I thought that was really important to do it on that level. The NBA, 40 million people watching.
Right.
That's the type of programming where you want to get that type of message out.
Right, and interesting with like the greatest legends of the game that they were showing them at the time, Kareem,
Right.
Phil Jackson, other people, while that was being said as well.
Yes.
When did you know for you that this was an issue? You were a teenager?
A long time, and it's a mix of environment, household. Sometimes it could be DNA, you know, it could be hereditary. You just never know where your mental issues come from. So it's just important to address it, and being diagnosed the right way. That's important for people to diagnose everybody differently, not the same.
And you've been diagnosed with depression?
Well, early on, I had a little bit of depression, a little anxiety, and it was so many. I had a lot of doctors since 13 years old. I've seen maybe over 20, 25 psychologists, you know, and so I just realized I just continue to improve myself, and I'm happy.
You're happy now?
Absolutely.
What does happiness mean for you?
Happiness to me is just, you know, just enjoying your day, you know, going shopping, you know, watching, I watch a lot of movies, you know, whatever you want to do in your life. I'm going stargazing for my birthday, you know, just like, whatever is happiness to you, that's good enough.
What kind of feedback have you heard from people? And have people told you, hey, Metta, you talking about that like saved my life?
Absolutely. Lots of people came up to me and told me, when you came out, it made me want to really think about my life and come out also. I got that message from so many people.
And what is your message for people that are now struggling with depression, struggling with bipolar, struggling with other things out there. They're embarrassed to talk about it. They don't want to bring this up. They don't even maybe want to admit that they're dealing with it.
You hit it on the nose. Embarrassed to go out and say, hey, I need help. If you're in college and you're in with a group of students, I need help, something's bothering me. If you're on a basketball team, a softball team, hey, I need help, something's bothering me. Don't feel embarrassed. Anytime you're empowering yourself, that's a positive thing. You got to feel like you're empowering yourself rather than being weak.
And what do you say to yourself internally when somebody says, hey, that guy's crazy? People used to say, that guy's crazy.
Well, when people used to say I was crazy, it used to always bother me because nobody wants to be called crazy. And then eventually I started to embrace it, and I started to, yes, I am a little crazy, because I started to ask myself a lot of questions on how I grew up and different things like that. And I am. If anybody grew up how I grew up, it'd be crazy too, maybe.
Yeah.
So I started to accept it, and then I started to just continue to improve myself.
Yeah, and now you're doing so many things. You're an entrepreneur in several different things.
Yes.
So we're going to talk some more about that in a second. But before we get to that, I want to play a game called Personal Issues. You just saw this with the congressman. This is for you. We're putting 30 seconds on the clock, and we're going to get to know you a little bit, all right?
Okay.
What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? C, coming out on Apple.
Okay, that hasn't even come out yet, right?
It hasn't even come out. I saw the preview.
Favorite way to relax?
Favorite way to relax is with Alberta Hunter. She's an artist from the 1880s.
Okay. Favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate? Kobe Bryant.
Favorite athlete of all time?
Favorite athlete of all time? Floyd Mayweather.
Favorite rapper of all time?
Favorite rapper of all time? Tragedy Gaddafi and Cannabis.
Favorite kind of car?
Favorite kind of car? A red sports car.
Nice. And you know, we're talking about, we love to play music on this show.
Yes.
So we're playing some of your music now.
Yeah.
So this is Champions,
Absolutely.
which came right out after you guys won the championship,
Absolutely.
right? This is you rapping. Are we gonna have more music from you?
Well, I'm a little older now, so I don't think I can rap with a cane, but I did this record in June 30th, 2009, predicting that we was going to win the championship June 25th, 2010.
So you won that championship. So coming up, we're going to talk to you about whether the Lakers are going to be able to do that again. The Clippers are going to be able to do that again. We're going to talk a little bit about China and the new way that people can come play with you.
Absolutely.
It's a very exciting venture. More of Metta when we come back on The Issue. Metta World Peace is one of several NBA greats involved in a brand new venture called X versus X Sports to make it easier to play pickup hoops. Metta joins us once again, and as a pickup hoops player, I think this is really exciting.
Yes.
How does this work?
So you sign up to the app, and right now we're in the early access phase. So you sign up, and then we notify you when the app is going to actually launch. When the app launches, you'll be able to find courts right next to you. So you know how times you're not able to find a court because maybe you're working and you're not able to play, and then maybe when you get off work, you want to play at 5 o'clock. Maybe you want to play at a lunch break. Well, you'll be able to find a court and play at your level, whether you're a competitive player, a recreational player, semi-pro, all the way to pro at my level.
And these are games that are officiated, right? You keep track of scores.
Absolutely.
You got jerseys.
Right.
So you essentially, and it's what, $5 to join? As little as $5 to join?
It's $5 a month to join, and then we're going to eventually have it where if you want to referee at your game, you can do that on the application. If you want a scorekeeper, you can do that. Your stats stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, for those of us that play pickup games, it can be expensive to just try to find a court.
Absolutely.
You know, so this is pretty cool, pretty exciting.
It's really exciting. What we did last game, we picked the best X versus X's, and they had a chance to play in a celebrity game, which they saw. So people that was trying to make it got a chance to play with celebrities and pros.
Like you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we also had a big week because it was the launch of the NBA season this week, right? We saw the Lakers play the Clippers. The Clippers beat them this week. What's your take on the Lakers?
The Lakers going to win the championship this year. And, I mean, it's hard to say because I'm a fan of Kawhi Leonard, big fan for a long time, big fan of Lou Williams. I think he should have been an all-star last year, and he should be an all-star this year, maybe third-team All-NBA. So it's going to be tough to beat that team, but AD is going to have something to say about it, and I can see the Lakers winning the finals.
So you think the Lakers are better than the Clippers?
I think the Lakers are the best team in the world.
Why is that?
Because, you know, when you got AD and LeBron, and you got these like Troy Daniels, and you have Danny Green and Rondo at the point guard, and Dwight Howard coming off a hungry Dwight Howard. I think these guys are unbeatable.
You know, another big issue, this is the issue is, was what happened in China, right? The NBA goes to China. There's this big battle over whether an owner should say anything bad about Hong Kong, and China takes away some games. What's your take on all of that?
My take is, I think people should have the freedom of speech. And I understand everybody run their countries differently. But when you're working with America or America's working with China, you have to embrace the culture. Right, so the same way Americans is letting foreigners come in and buy real estate and do that type of thing, which is really hurting our future American real estate owners, because all the real estate is being bought up by foreign countries. So you got to have some type of, collaboration, with culture. So I think hopefully the NBA China and the country of China and America could somehow, work out this issue.
LeBron got a lot of backlash for even speaking up about this, suggesting that this Rockets owner shouldn't have tweeted about China while they were in China.
That's like, and I think I love LeBron, so I don't really want to talk much about that because I'm a huge fan, for one. Right? But I think it's important for freedom of speech because not too long ago, people didn't have freedom of speech.
Right.
And people are fighting for freedom of speech. So, but I kind of got what he was saying from a business standpoint, but, from a freedom of speech standpoint, Daryl Morey should be commended.
Yeah. So, before you go, I couldn't pass up the opportunity since we got this new app.
Yes.
And I want to play on this app. I want to sign up for it, right? I want to be a part of it. So I want you to give me a tip.
Okay.
If I were to play, come play at this, can we go over to our court? I'm going to take this jacket off.
This is the best coach in the world.
I got the best coach in the world.
Absolutely.
I got this opportunity. So if we're heading over here, what's your advice to me?
So my advice to you and the other 23 million basketball players that we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
So is when you're playing against someone like me, if you happen to play against me, Chris Copeland, Ryan Hollins, what you want to do is attack space.
Yeah.
And I call it the Stephen Curry strategy.
Okay.
If you watch Stephen, he's always attacking space. Try to reach for the ball. It's behind the back. Oh, it's behind the back. Oh, the ball. Stephen, see, and that lesson right there, what I just taught you, how I just took you to school, take that with you and take somebody else to school.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Let's try it. Oh, wow. Wow.
There it is. There it is.
I'm going to take that with me.
Metta World Peace, one of the best basketball players. Thank you so much. Congratulations on XBX Sports.
That was a really good job, Steph.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I love that. We'll be right back. More of the issue is right after this.
I try to. I try to teach people that.
I love that theme. This week, a crossover between Curb Your Enthusiasm and the Mueller report, all made possible by a longtime California politician. Larry David describing this performance as impeachment, the origin story.
The Russian government interfered in the 2016 presidential election in sweeping and systematic fashion.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That's our show. Good night.
Larry David narrates a comedic reading of the Mueller report, with Will and Grace star and President Trump foe Deborah Messing playing President Trump.
Bad actress Deborah the Messing is in hot water.
And Billy Porter playing Billy Porter.
There's no more time not to vote. There's no more time. There's no more time.
This sold-out, one-night-only event at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills, raising $250,000 for a political action committee run by former California Senator Barbara Boxer. Her group focused on electing Democrats.
To me, the issue is we have to keep Nancy Pelosi in the House being the Speaker. We have to get rid of the Grim Reaper. That's what Mitch McConnell calls himself.
Boxer spent decades representing California in Congress and was in the House during Bill Clinton's impeachment. She's troubled by President Trump asking for Ukraine to investigate his political opponent.
I do believe he'll get impeached in the House. As far as the Senate is concerned, it depends on the evidence. I will not be running for the Senate in 2016.
When Boxer announced she'd retire from the Senate in 2017, she assumed her friend Hillary Clinton would be the next president, and Boxer could step away from public life quietly.
For me, I didn't expect to still be in this political world when I left the Senate. I honestly didn't, but I feel like Barack Obama said, You're a citizen of this country, and if things aren't going right, don't just sit back and complain. Do something.
Our thanks to Senator Boxer, to Metta World Peace, Harley Rouda, and to you for watching. We leave you with a recently discovered track by Prince, where he's playing Chaka Khan's classic,